This Tall King podcast, a whole lot of laughs for your dog ass. Pull up something till your family come run, nigga got a little baby, tell him crawl fast. Talking all gas, no breaks, about to have a blast. Haters gon' hate, talk so much trash, can't hold your phone straight. This the comedy podcast. They won't, man. Now our platform talk rock and rap songs, some wrestling movies, then hop on that porn. They came with anything entertainment, man. Who lanes think they came with? Every other channel, that's the same shit. Talk kid like, man, it's a game switch. You gon' feel what we said, but you can't skip. Yeah, we hear what you playing, but it ain't this. So, ladies and gents, I would like to present some of the funniest shit you have never witnessed. Introducing your host that be doing the most. If you and your folks wonder whoever did this, one time from now you finna find out what it's all about. My forever privilege. Pay attention, this is talking and listening. Biggest in the biggest, don't push the bridges off. Hey. You are now tuned into Tall King Listen. My boy, your host.
Talk and Listening, episode 99.
Wow.
Yeah.
One short of the big time.
I'm surprised we've made it this far. You know, it's Nauf. We got E off to the side.
I'm just here, dog.
And today we're joined by the Revelator, Teflon Jon.
Hello. How are you?
I love this song.
How are you? I got a small can of water. Small can listening for me.
I got a question. What's he saying right here?
I actually didn't know until earlier this year, but it's actually a song about the plight of homeless people. Oh. And so the first line is, freezing, he rests his head on a pillow made of concrete.
See, I heard freedom, and I was like, me and Sarah going back and forth.
No, man.
I didn't want to look up the lyrics.
It's, dude, it's actually like a really poignant song of just like, hey, man, you can't judge homeless people just by their appearance or just like by looking at them, because, you know, a lot of them aren't crazy. They're just kind of in a rough spot.
Yeah.
And it's this almost like this anthem of empathy, kind of. Oh. And it's kind of this cool, like, hey, man, like maybe you should help your fellow man. That'd be kind of nice. So
that's badass to know. That's crazy good these fucking rock songs sound. I've never thought about.
I don't even think the meaning. I was like, that's a banger, but I don't know what they're saying.
It's a jam right here.
Shout out Eddie Vedder. My dad.
Tell me it's about homeless people.
My dad hated his Hall of Fame speech, but shout out Eddie Vedder. Yeah. I think the first thing he said was climate change was real. My dad was like, this guy.
Is climate change real?
Plead the fifth.
Oh. Fifth! What made you pick that song as your new theme? Because I've watched you go from Paul Wall to Johnny Cash. Was it Johnny Cash?
No, that was...
it wasn't Johnny Cash. I fucked up.
Curtis Stiggers.
Wow, no.
Got to be very careful when I say that word. But yeah, that was a song from Sons of Anarchy.
That's right, because I didn't know where it was from, and I played, and Sarah was like, "It's from that show I like." I was like, "Oh fuck."
Yeah. So there's this scene. There's this scene in the first season. I think it's the last episode of the first season where Jax Teller goes to his dad's grave, and it's kind of when he first starts to realize that the club had turned into exactly what his dad didn't want it to be. And it kind of resonated with me in a sense of just like, hey, I'm kind of in this spot of like, hey, man, you know, I look at wrestling out here, and it's kind of this, you know, this weird bastardized mix of a lot of things, and I don't necessarily vibe with it a whole lot. Mm-hmm. And so that was kind of like me being like, oh, hey, like, you know, the Revelator is, I guess, the guy that has seen the end. Yeah. You know, and I look around and see kind of what wrestling is nowadays. It's a lot of not wrestling. You know, it's a lot of, you know, selling yourself to the internet, creating an image, more focus on follower counts and content, which I hate. I hate that word so much. Content. I hate that word so much.
You're not very active on your socials either.
No, I'm not. And, you know, I know that in order to play the game, you kind of have to be.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like I'd rather be more true to myself and, you know, not shill myself out, you know, blatantly.
We're the complete opposite.
Well, I mean, yeah, you have to be, and I don't knock anybody that is like that. I don't knock anybody that does that. I respect the hustle. Honestly, man, like you guys have more time to do that. I don't. I have a life, I have jobs, I have things that I need to keep up with.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, man, to me, it's, you know, like back at 30 years ago, they didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
You know, that was all the company. Whatever company they worked for, the company was responsible for the promotion. But it's become this weird thing where they put the onus of promotion on the wrestlers. And it doesn't give the wrestlers more time to focus on their craft, to focus on their thing. Which, I mean, you know, again, I commend the people that can do all of it.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But I think with someone like me, I just, you know, I don't necessarily feel like it fits who I am as a person. And then as a character even. Like as a character, I feel like my favorite ones were always the ones that would post something every 2 months,
yeah.
You know, and you're just like, oh, what does that mean? That's kind of cool. Does it
better that way? You know?
Yeah, I mean, does it keep me out of the eyes of the algae rhythm? Yeah, sure, but you know,
but when you do post, it's noticeable because it's like, oh, Teflon posted.
Yeah,
something.
man, I'm not a slave to the trends.
I like it.
You know,
I like it.
all right, yeah.
Tall campus.
Okay, all right. We're very early. We're working out the cakes. Cool.
Your last Tall Can appearance was August of 2022.
Was it August?
Yeah.
Okay.
I looked it up today. I had X and Jake with me. A lot has changed for me, obviously. I got E here.
You're still the same.
No, I meant production-wise.
Oh, my bad.
Co-host.
Yeah, I mean, your setup. So, hey, I appreciate the straight
actual,
shot.
yeah.
Man. I really like the straight shot.
Trying to
just
kind of.
I remember I remember last time it was like kind of angled. And we had the camera here, and somebody threw something at something, and then it kind of like busted, and I was like, oh boy, that's not good. But no, man. Hey, props to you for being able to keep this show running for 2+ years, going on 3. I'd say. Is that
track.
it?
I don't know.
That's a good thing, though. It's a good thing if you lose track of how long you've been doing
episode
something.
99.
Yeah, man. I counted.
That's awesome.
You know how to count?
So what's changed for you since then? Since August of 2022?
Oh my gosh, what a question! Oh man,
I've gotten better at questions too.
Yeah.
Since I wasn't here last time, I apologize if I asked something that was said 2 years ago.
Oh yeah.
I probably don't remember.
Well, you remember one of the conversations we had last time was my take on, what was it, online dating?
Yes.
And X was like, I don't think you're going to find somebody. Well, I did, so you can kick rocks, X.
Yeah. We'll throw that clip in there, too.
Yeah, I don't believe in internet dating. But
I don't think you're gonna meet somebody, dog. Everybody's on. No,
bro.
I mean, everybody's.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't work out, but hey, it still happened.
Did say that.
But yeah, man, I think.
What did he mean by that?
Yeah, it was like.
Did it make him mad?
I don't think so, man. I hope
he probably was just drunk.
I would say I hope. But no, man, a lot of self improvement. I know that's kind of a cliche cop out, but after all that happened, I kind of was at a point where I was just like, well, what do I want to do? Where do I want to go? Some things happened with. I'm not trying to sound like a jaded lover or anything, but that was a big part of my life, and I kind of disappeared, and I was stuck kind of figuring out where to go, what to do. I was at a big crossroads, no pun intended. Shout out to the man. But, yeah, man, it's just kind of like picking myself up and figuring out where I go, love is crazy, man. And I'm not going to harp on it too long, but it was a whirlwind of like, you think it's going to be one thing and then it's not. And so what do I throw myself into, to kind of not save myself, but keep myself distracted from what's really going on. And I did that for a little bit. I kept myself distracted and kind of didn't bother with it.
Yeah.
It wasn't until I stopped running from like how I felt after everything happened that I was kind of like, okay, like let's actually fix myself. Because I'm still young, man.
How
How old are you?
I'm,
if you don't mind me asking.
I'm 26 now, about to be 27.
I feel so old.
Me too.
Well, I'm sorry for that. But yeah, man, I think, last time I was here I was 24.
Yeah.
And, I had just gotten my first full-time salary job, which I left.
Oh.
Which was a stupid decision.
Oh.
Stupid decision on my part. But, I don't blame myself for it. I think it's more, I look back on it as like, okay, I was doing this with the best intentions.
Uh-huh.
And, sometimes you bet on yourself and it doesn't work out. That's a hard fact of life, man. Sometimes,
but it's always good to bet on yourself.
Sometimes you take that jump and you fall flat on your face. And the important thing is like, okay, well, what do you do now? And I don't think I responded very well when it first happened. But I think now I've kind of put myself in a position to be like, okay, like now I just got to wait some stuff out in order to set myself up for, better things.
Yeah.
And, like setting myself up now to be kind of like, hey, let's get something to where, I can start making more towns. I can start going to more shows and like wrestling again, because I think that's kind of something else that was missing was my passion for this. My passion for wrestling was dying very fast.
Oh, man.
It was dying because there were other things that I felt were more important in my life. And I was kind of like, well, I don't know how long I can stay doing this thing that really, like, I haven't seen any fruition out of grand scale. And at some point, you got to grow up and be an adult.
Yeah.
You got to take care of things. And that's another, like, big, hard fact of life. And I was kind of juggling all of that of like, do I want to keep doing this? Do I want to keep, wrecking my body for it?
So at one point you were like contemplating like walking away?
Kind of. I mean, like last year I only did United.
Yeah.
That was the only thing I did, man. United at the time, now United 210. That was the only show that I did all of last year. And it was kind of just because, one, I wanted to focus on helping Stash get that off the ground.
Yeah.
Because
I know you're doing a great job with that.
yeah, man.
I remember being at the early shows and there was like 20 of us in the crowd.
They started up back this year. That first show, I was like, God damn.
That first show. So that first show was the first one that I, and little peek behind the curtain here. That first show this year was the first show that I ever wrote out entirely.
Oh, nice.
So yes, I was part of the creative team for United in that first year, and then the first two shows of this year. Stash.
Yeah, Stash.
Stash had asked me. Stash had asked me to be the first champion, which I was, extremely proud of. I was very honored.
I was happy as hell.
Honored that he asked me to do that. But I also wanted to help him get the entire show off the ground and kind of give him a base of like, hey man, like let me kind of throw my opinion in there and help you kind of map this out and navigate it. And man, like if you're gonna let me be the first champion, let me map out how I lose it. And that was my biggest thing, was I wanted to map out how I lost it, so that way when the person beat me for it, they would be a bigger deal. And they would be a big deal because of like, okay, we took all this time to get to this point, and now here's the payoff. Now this person with the belt has it; they can run with it. And I mean, we had a plan. Plans change. It didn't exactly end the way that I saw it ending. But hey, here we are now. Nothing you can do about it. It's kind of just like, all right. But I am extremely proud of that year of being able to kind of map it out. And these first two shows of this year, I don't know what the numbers are for the rest of the year, but in April we had over 3 at the yard.
Dang.
And
Felt like it too.
that to me, And I'm biased because me and Tommy went out there and just killed each
Oh
other.
my God, that was yeah.
And I'm really biased at that because that's one of my favorite
The one you threw him in the
matches.
porta potty.
Yeah.
I remember
That's one of my favorite matches in general, just because grand scheme, like me and Tommy started together at Booker's in Houston, and seeing him move down here, start a family, and being able to do a match like that with him, there's no one else that I would have done that match with. There's no one else that I would have let throw me into thumbtacks besides Tommy Bolton. I love you, Tommy. Thank you. But yeah, man, like that show to me was peak. Like that, to steal a term from the kids, that was peak.
Oh yeah.
And
slang.
And
it was Skibbity. Probably.
Yeah, I saw that vid of Trip saying Skibbity, Ohio. I popped big, man.
It was so good.
Just dumb stuff like that. I have a mind that just goes to dumb places like that. But yeah, man, I'm extremely proud of what United has become, just kind of as like a third show. In my opinion, do I think they could be different and more different from RCW and Hybrid and all the other shows? Yes, I do.
1,000%.
But there's a point where I have to put my opinions to the side, and I have to kind of just let them do their thing.
Yeah.
I have to let them kind of just, execute whatever vision they had. I just got to let them do it, man. And I think that kind of helped with my personal journey too, of just like, hey man, it's fun to put a show together, but man, it's a headache.
Yeah,
it is a headache, especially when you have people butting heads on ideas and you start to feel like the personal relationships kind of fizzle. And on certain things there was just a point where I was like, you know what, man, like this isn't worth it. It's not worth the headache. It's not worth the trouble. I'm going to go back and find the passion of what I originally got in this business for, which was to wrestle. Mm-hmm. And I did that, and it's one of the best decisions I've made this year, just because I have done a lot of stuff wrestling-wise that I'm extremely proud of. Extremely proud of, man. The stuff that I did with New Texas this year.
See, that was one of my questions, because you started doing the Texas Contender Series out there. So that was part of the reason you went to start doing the New Texas, because the passion?
Yeah, man. So I hit up one of my old trainers, JJ Blake, who is kind of overseeing the Texas Contenders with Kiefer and Sean Hendricks, another guy. They kind of just oversee the Texas Contenders. They've got the Premier Wrestling Academy, or the Houston Wrestling Academy, I should say, out there. Big shout out to those guys. There's a lot of guys out there that are super talented. They've got a big show coming this weekend. Wishing them all the best with that. But yeah, man, I just needed another place, because like I said, United was the only thing I was doing. And as much as we dress it up, as much as we make it special, to a wrestler, it's like I'm wrestling in a backyard.
I get that, and I've seen comments.
Yeah, and I mean, dude, hey, we have done a good job of making it more than.
Yeah, it's definitely more than just your typical backyard wrestling show.
But there's still the
production behind it alone. I mean,
there's still that thing in the back of the head though, of just like, as a wrestler, I'm kind of like, man, I'm wrestling in the backyard. I need to be doing more than that. I need to be doing more than that, because like a year before that, I was going into different towns and winning championships and going places and doing a bunch of different things, and I felt like, personal wise and like wrestling wise, I was just I was low, man. And again, like, that's not a knock on United or anything. I love what the yard is, and I love that we've been able to make it something different. But it's just like my mentality.
Yeah, like,
it's my
backyard.
Like,
it's gonna stick in your head.
Yeah, man.
I totally understand what you're saying. But it's cool that, like, credit to y'all for like doing stuff like that, because like for example, the kids that go and watch, it's like it's rare that they'll ever get that close to a ring and see action like that, because
those kids have a good time too, man. Those kids have better time than their parents sometimes. Just throwing stuff out. I had a kid one time.
Oh,
Do you remember
Okay.
this by chance?
he said something to you, right?
So there was a
Roland
kid.
kinda like-
yeah, there was a
How old was
kid
this kid?
that
This kid
there was a
7,
kid
8
that
years
took
old.
like a mouthful of Gatorade and just projectile spat it onto my chest.
He was like front row, right? Like
Yeah,
by the stage.
man.
Did he throw up? Oh,
No, it was like liquid, and you know he like it's one thing to jaw jack and like I'll talk trash to the kid, but he like spat it like right on my chest, and I like got up in his face. I said, "Do not do that again. We will throw you
Were
out
the
of this
parents
show."
right there?
I don't know if the parents were
God
right
damn
there,
it.
but yeah, man, I was just like that was a little too much.
Yeah.
It was just kind of like, well, one, I mean, we just had a pandemic that shut everything down 4
Yeah.
years or 3 years ago at the time, and it was just kind of like, come on, dude, like. One, have some respect. Two, you know, I get that you're young and you're a kid, but like,
But
hey, man,
as a kid,
that's-
for them to do that, says,
do that when you grow up. See what happens.
Yeah.
You know?
If that kid was 18, he would have slapped the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Well, back then?
Well, careful,
This
careful,
was-
bro.
This is like a year ago, right?
Yeah, man, about a year
Yeah.
ago.
I remember just seeing it from a distance. I didn't see him spit at you, but I saw you like in his face. And I was like,
Yeah.
what the fuck did I miss?
And the good thing was you saw the switch in his eyes. So you saw the like the look of like oh, I did something wrong. And he can't, you know, his parents took him to the back and he apologized to me, and I was just like, you know, man, okay, but like don't do that.
Yeah.
Like that's just a common decency thing. It's just
Yeah.
like don't be spitting on people. That's gross. I hate when people spit and people in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's disgusting. Unless the story like really calls for
Like,
it,
needs
and you know everybody has okayed it.
Yeah.
But other than that, man, it's just, you know, like
Did we not tell you that kid was supposed to spit Gatorade on you?
right.
It was part of the show.
you guys are running the book now. Yeah.
We thought you wrote it in the script.
But yeah. So, anyways, going back to contenders, man, I hit up JJ. And, you know, it was a choice between that show and another show. And I was like, well, let me take the contenders because I knew contenders would eventually bring me back to New Texas.
Yeah.
And, you know, I saw at the showcase the year before the building they were in, Campbell Hall out there, which is like a couple minutes down the road from my aunt and uncle's house in Pasadena.
Oh.
And so I was like, man, dude, like it'd be cool to like, one, work with guys that are in the spot that I was in a few years ago. Before I kind of figured some stuff out, and work with them and kind of push the buttons and get their bushy eyes a little more clearer.
Yeah.
And it's been fun, man. I've loved going out there and wrestling those guys. And I got to do, you know, this story with the Eighth Day and Sean Hendricks, who was in Legion who was the leader of Legion at Reality of Wrestling when I first started in the business. And so it's kind of this crazy like that, like
Full circle
this
kind of
year,
thing.
honestly, like won the match with Tommy and then this story with Sean. They've both been kind of these like big full circle moments.
Yeah.
You know, 7-8 years in the making that I'm just kind of like, man, dude, like, okay, like I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
And I think sorry, that's my text tone there. You know, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be.
Is that
you know?
how long you been wrestling? 7-8 years?
I'd
or-
say wrestling 7, yeah. I started training June of 2017. So I had my first match was 6 months after that, a couple days after my 20th birthday. A couple days after my 20th birthday. I wrestled Sean Studd, who is the son of Big John Studd.
Oh shit.
That was my first match at Reality of Wrestling.
How did that go?
I lasted a minute, and he gave me a giant choke slam. I hit my head on the mat. My aunt, God bless him. So, you know, my aunt and uncle took me in when I moved to Houston to start training at Booker's. And I was like, hey, I'm about to wrestle my first match. I'd love if you guys were there. This was like 2-day notice maybe.
Yeah.
And so I was like, yeah, man, I'd love if you guys were there. And, you know, just, you know, as a thank you
Yeah.
for what you did, bringing me in and all that. He choke slams me, and my aunt took a video of it, and you can hear her laughing hysterically.
Sounds like my mom.
Yeah, man. It was funny, dude. Yeah, I saw the video, and I could just hear her laugh in the background.
Now you're concerned.
And yeah, man, you know, I love my aunt and uncle so much, man. I love going out there. When I go to New Texas, I'll stay with them and, you know, just say what's up and say hello. She left me a bottle of painkillers, ibuprofen, I should say, on the sink that night.
Yeah.
And she was like,
After she
here
saw
you
what
go.
she saw.
She was like, here you go. Take these if you need them. Which I'm honestly, like, I've kind of been proud of the fact that I've just never really had to take like ibuprofen on a regular basis after doing this for 8 years. I've just like never really.
Wait till you turn 30.
Yeah, man, I know it's coming. I know it's coming, which is why I'm kind of.
I need it after I just
how
roll
long
out of
do
bed.
I want to do this? Yeah.
Oh my god.
But no, man, I appreciate JJ and Kiefer letting me come back out there and work with those guys and kind of establish myself again in that market. You know, the shows in Buddha, establishing myself out there again. You know, I've been able to do some cool like street fights. I've had like 3 street fights this year, and they've all been awesome. They've all been
I think
fun.
street fights are
And
awesome.
I think I've kind of found a little part of my wheelhouse of just like, okay, man, like I'm a good wrestler. I can do a solid singles match,
Yeah.
but there's something about like, hey, man, just let's go out there and like
Go
because
crazy.
you have
Yeah.
a higher threshold of like, hey, we can just go and do stuff.
Throw someone
You
in the porta
know,
potty.
like your psychology or whatever is kind of like taking a back seat to the violence, and the violence kind of takes precedent, and it's a little more breathing room, a little more air, and you
Throw
just
me over
kinda,
the rope so I can land on that kid that spit Gatorade up me.
yeah,
Some
man.
intentional shit like that would be great. Just
Do you
kidding.
prefer
They're
street
kids.
fights
No.
or regular singles?
Well, I don't want to pigeonhole myself
Yeah.
into
No,
being a
yeah,
hardcore wrestler. But I will say that like the matches that I've had this year, the street fights have been the ones that I've just had more fun with.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, and I think I'm getting to a point in my life where pain isn't as bad as it used to be. You know, I remember my first chair shot. Did not feel good.
Did you at least protect yourself?
That Ken Shamrock.
Right?
Well, no, so I mean we're in the time where it's all to the back,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And so I felt that first chair shot and I was like, you know, it's not awful, but man, I don't want to do this all the time.
Yeah.
You know, I took one last year from someone, and it literally shook my spine.
Oh, shit.
It like tingled my spine. I could feel it through my arms and my back, and I was like, I don't know if I should be trusting people to hit me with a
Yeah,
chair.
'cause
like
that
this.
is a lot of trust, too.
Yeah, man, and when if you put it in the wrong place, you could paralyze somebody, and it's just kind of that scary idea. And I'm like,
Or
man,
if they have the chair backwards.
yeah, I don't know if I want to. I don't know if I want to do that too much. But getting in there with guys that I trust and that I've been around for a while and who I know have been trained properly, and that's when I'm like, you know what, man? Like I've told people this a lot this year. Just hit me, hit me, dude. And I'm at that point of like, just hit me. And it's made my matches so much more fun.
Yeah.
It's made my matches so much more easy because you kind of feel the energy from the other
Yeah.
person. And it's like, okay,
You got to hit them.
now I'm gonna match you with that, and we'll see if you hit me that hard still. And if you do, then we're gonna go, man. It's awesome. But yeah, dude, there's something about street fights that have kind of reeled me in this year.
yeah.
So we'll see how long that
That actually
lasts.
leads to the social media question we got from, hope I say your name right, Levi Rod 5.
Yes, that's little Raj.
What's the hardest hit you've taken and from who?
Shane Taylor's up there.
That makes that makes sense.
Shane Taylor felt like a brick truck. A brick house.
I got it.
Yeah, man. Shane Taylor was a bit heavy. I will say the one that I remember the most was at the very last heavy metal show against Gary J. So, the very short-lived post Dunbar era of
the post
heavy
Dunbar.
metal wrestling.
Was that at the
That
bar?
was at 502. That was the
Yeah,
last show they
that's
did at
right.
502. It was the no
No
ring.
ring, yeah.
And so I had
did the powerbomb.
No, I did that powerbomb. That was during Dunbar's era, which was a great powerbomb.
I got a call from somebody and they were like, "Hey, do you want to work Gary J?" I think somebody had dropped out. And they were like, we need someone to wrestle Gary J. I was like, okay, man. I'd never seen his work, and that's no knock to him.
Me neither.
I've never seen. There's thousands of wrestlers out there, and so I was like, okay, like he's.
See, and I was a heavy metal mark. I didn't know half the people they brought. I was just like,
yeah, it was a different. It was a different time, Mercer, man.
Like,
don't put Mercer in charge. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But yeah, man. Like I wrestled Gary. And he has a reputation of just being a guy that is very snug and he takes it to you. And so the first like little feel out of it, we're kind of dancing and he's just kind of standing there and I'm like, all right, well, do I throw a punch? Do I throw the first punch? Okay. So I'm kind of like, all right, how do I throw this? I don't know this guy.
Well, you didn't know who was gonna throw the first punch?
Well, we were kind of just winging it, man.
Oh, fuck.
And so like we're there in front of each other, and I kind of I give him something.
Was it hard? Like,
I mean, man, I didn't want to kill the guy because I didn't know him. I was just like, how was he gonna react?
Yeah.
Well, I found out how he reacted. I hit him, and then he kind of just like went like this, and then just smacked me right across the face, and you could hear the crowd just go, oh, and I felt it, and I was like, that was the moment where that whole philosophy of hit me so I can feel your energy, that's where that stemmed from. Was just like, I felt how hard he was going to hit me, and I was like, okay, all right, I'm in it, let's do it, hit me. And yeah, man, I think that's the first time I ever bled, too, in a match.
Really?
Yeah. I think that's the first time I ever bled from my head. Look at me, poet, and didn't even know it.
Oh!
Yeah, dude. Bars. Yeah, man, that's probably up there. Those two, Shane Taylor and Gary J. Definitely.
God damn. So, I was, as a former United champion, I was fully expecting you to be at the Royal Rumble as a participant.
He was very upset.
I was very mad. There was many things I was expecting for that show that didn't happen. I was like,
Sips tea.
Isn't Teflon gonna come and try to get that belt back?
Okay.
Where's he at?
I will say, the reason I wasn't there was because I was wrestling in McAllen for Fortuna Texas Wrestling, which is run by Alvaro Riojas, the Spanish commentator for AEW, who formerly wrestled in Texas as Bandana Joe, who is a good friend of mine. I love working with him. I love being around him and his family. So he brought me in for that day. And I was like, yeah, man, we're wrestling in Cine El Rey, which was a building that I wrestled in about 5 years ago when me and Connor Crunk went out there. To McAllen, and I hadn't been in that building in 5 years.
Yeah.
And so I was like, man, dude, like that's too good to pass up. I actually chose that over United because you get the text of like, hey, they're running the same day, and it's kind of like, well, man, like you contacted me first.
Yeah.
You contacted me first, and you're my friend, and I want to help you. Again, I want to help you get your show off the ground. I want to help you, make your show everything that you want it to be, just because you've been a good friend to me over the years, and I feel like you've treated me well, so I will treat you well in reciprocation. So that's where I was. That was kind of the idea, though, is that a lot of people were going to want me in that Rumble. So
yeah,
we
were.
I like asking this question, but is there a dream match you got with anybody, not necessarily Texas scene, but AEW,
just in general?
Yeah,
in general? So I think the one that I said last time I was here was Eddie Kingston.
Okay.
I would say that's still one. As far as like dream matches, like I try to be realistic with all of that. Just because people can like shoot for the moon, and it just makes them look kind of
just say Hulk Hogan,
foolish.
Bro. No,
Sergeant
well, I think I could take Hogan now. He's what, like 60 something? Yeah, man, he's got a J for a spine. So I would say, dude, let me put over some local guys here.
Okay.
Some Texas guys, I should say. I would love to wrestle. I'd love to wrestle Exodus Prime.
Yeah.
I've never wrestled Exodus Prime. Brick also. I've never wrestled Brick. I feel like I might die.
It'd be something to see.
But yeah, man.
Funny dude, man.
I mean,
You know, dude, Brick's a great person to have in the locker room. I will say that. I enjoy having Brick in the locker room.
X might not think so.
There's a couple other people. You know, a lot of people in that Houston camp.
Yeah.
That Houston and Lions Pride camp that do those contender shows. There's a lot of people that I see on those shows that I'm kind of like, man, I'd love to get in there with them and see what they can do and see how we mesh with each other, man. You know, there's so many people just in Texas now that like there's kind of just this new crop that popped up.
yeah.
While I was in the yard and being exclusively in the yard, there was this new crop that kind of popped up. You know who I will say? We had a triple threat a couple years ago, but I've never had a one-on-one with him. Now that he's good, Danny O'Ryan.
Now that he's good as
Now that he's good. Well, I say that because when I wrestled him, he was still very young and very green in the game, and now I see he's doing all this crazy stuff and winning titles. And so
I will say this.
that's who's on the top of my list.
I went
is
to
Danny O'Ryan.
the cartel in Corpus, and he had a singles match, and I was like, I looked at Sarah, I was like, this motherfucker's fucking great.
He's
like,
great.
Yeah. And then, like I said, no disrespect, but I was like, I don't remember him being
Yeah,
that
man.
great.
But that's the
That was
thing is
it.
just sometimes it just like it comes out of nowhere. You know, like you can be at a certain level for so long and then you just pop out and kind of exceed where you thought you were going to be, or I don't know where he thought he was going to be, but like, man, he has grown exponentially.
Yeah, he is going
and
crazy right now.
I'm very proud of what he has accomplished.
But now
and
you want
I
to take
think-
his ass down.
I think that is what draws me to possibly wrestling him. And one I'll say out here, man, Casey Blackrose.
Yeah.
He, so, you know, man, like you kind of have this like internal competition with people in your same city and all that. And like when I first met Casey, I just was kind of like, I don't know yet.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know like if I like his work or not. I haven't seen a lot of his work. He has grown on me, man.
The last year for sure, he's been just rising
dude,
very
and
quickly.
I've appreciated like what he's done for United. I appreciate how hard he works. I appreciate how hard he wrestles. That's one that I would love to wrestle Casey, just to see where I'm at, and to see where he's at, and to see if we can mesh together. So I would say Casey and Danny are at the top of that, and then you'd have like Brick and Exodus and all those other guys there.
Let's see, do y'all want to? I had two things. I have the tall can table read where we read a script from a movie,
Okay.
or because I know you're really into music,
A
musical festival draft.
Okay.
So which one do you? And we're gonna do both. But what do you want to do right now?
Festival, musical festival.
We could do that festival. Yeah, that's
Okay.
that's good.
So, Teflon, you're gonna go first.
Okay.
E second, me third, and back to you. You build a festival based off genre.
Oh, based off a genre.
So
Yeah.
so there's no mix. It has to be like one
Oh,
genre.
We'll see.
or-
It's gonna go rock, rap, pop, country, Tejano, and then free for all.
One
Oh, so we have to
artist
pick one of each.
Yeah.
One of each.
To build your own festival. I don't see us like really picking the same
Yeah, okay.
artists from
Well,
each
I
one.
don't even
So
know how many genres I know.
Okay, so what genre are we starting
we'll
with?
start with rock.
Okay. Metallica.
Metallica.
I'm grabbing Metallica. First pick. That's my favorite band.
Really?
That is.
Why haven't you used them as a theme song yet?
You know how expensive that is?
That's true.
And I feel like every wrestler has somewhat used Metallica. I did use Metallica last year for one show.
Was I there?
I think you might have been. It was
I
King,
drunk?
King Nothing. I used King Nothing for a show. That was like a one-time thing, just because it was the name of the show, and I was like, "Let me use this song." Like I just,
I was probably
yeah. So I'll take Metallica.
because you usually like main event anyways. By that time, I'm pretty.
dude. I'll be honest, man. I'll be honest.
He's like, I know you are.
I love. I appreciate being in the main event and all. Man, it is tiring to be in the main event.
Why?
Of just like, because you have to wait the whole show,
Oh, 3 or
man.
4
You
hours, yeah.
You're waiting 3 or 4 hours to go out there. By the time you go out there, like especially if the crowd is tired.
Oh,
It's much harder.
I will say this: we're very tired at
Yeah.
10:30 at night.
And hey, you hear that? Do you hear that? They are very tired at 10:30 at night. Maybe you should shorten those shows.
Please do, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, there you go. But but no, man. Like, I mean, I love being in the main event. I love being like the main attraction of the show.
Yeah.
But I do like that. Recently I've been able to kind of just be middle of the card or starting the card and kind of just watch the show, because like, you know, you're in the main event, you don't really get to watch the show and enjoy the show.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of people that are talented on those shows.
Yeah.
So I appreciate the fact that I can sometimes now just watch it and watch everybody else do their thing. But Metallica, first pick. Yeah.
E. Just think of this, the band's dad had us listening
Pearl
to
Jam.
Pearl Jam. See, and I'm gonna go very emo with Pierce the Veil.
Oh, man, okay.
This is gonna be all
There
over
you
the
go,
place.
yeah.
Teflon rap.
I got two in my mind already.
Yeah, okay, so since it's festival, all right, I will say the best rap artist that I ever saw at a festival is Travis Scott. So I will take Travis Scott.
He's a very good stage performer.
Man, dude, that is like, if you could put that feeling in a bottle.
Yeah.
It's a very dangerous feeling, as we've seen.
Yeah, people die.
Yeah, but I mean, I caught him at ACL right after Astroworld dropped.
Oh.
And so this was
That guy was probably crazy.
he was, ooh man, like, so I think Gambino was supposed to be the headliner, but I think he broke his foot or something like that. And so they moved Travis to like the main stage, like main event, main attraction, and he just blew the roof off that place. I mean, there's no roof in Zilker Park, but like he had that place going. I think the full show is on YouTube from that year. It's that weekend that I went, and man, that, like, I still remember like how that felt. It was so crazy. Yeah, man.
E, rap.
Lil Wayne.
You bitch.
We've seen him twice, and on stage he's old as fuck right now. I mean, what?
He should have got the Super Bowl.
Yeah, he should've.
It would have sounded like that.
That's a very good.
That was
We're
actually
gonna
very
post
good.
Lil
Thank
Wayne's
you,
face as he's doing that.
I'll go. I'll go Chamillionaire. I thought you were going Chamillionaire, so I was gonna get Wayne.
That's
that
a
was
deep
another one.
cut.
That was
Nice.
Yeah, no one's
But
coming to my festival.
He said
Well, because
festival.
I'm gonna post these two and see who what festival people would want to go to. And
that was one of my
I'm
two
already
choices.
losing.
That was
Probably
one of my two choices. Wayne or
Pop.
Chamillionaire. Oh my god.
Oh, I get to go first?
Yeah.
Who's
Oh,
considered
she's
pop?
killing it right now. It's Chapel Roan, brother. That is my pop pick. Just because I saw that Lollapalooza crowd, I saw that ACL crowd. My God, man. And props to her. Dude. She is everything. What I love about her is what I hate about Taylor Swift. So Chapel Roan is like a performer. She, goes all out with like her costumes, her music, her show.
I for sure thought
Like-
you were gonna go like Sabrina Carpenter or something.
No, man, I think that evil little girl. No, man, I don't like that smile, man. I know one day Sabrina Carpenter is gonna slit Taylor Swift's throat. And it is going to be the most dramatic thing, and it's going to set Taylor up for a big babyface return.
Because we all hate her right now.
Well, yeah, depending on who you are.
All this shit.
It becomes too much.
Yeah,
it
I used to be like,
much.
shake it off, shake it off.
But like, yeah, I just look at Sabrina Carpenter and I'm like, no, man, I don't trust that. See, like, it's making me gag,
Oh my
man.
God.
Yeah, dude, I don't trust a smile like that, man. That's one that I'm just kind of like, nope. And I know my ex is probably listening to music like that, so nah.
Makes
That's my one. That's my one. That's my one 4-letter word. You can censor that in post.
All right, I got you.
Yeah.
No, we're keeping that in there.
We're PG today. E,
Yes.
pop.
I'm looking up a list because I don't even know if his song's considered pop.
Well, yeah, I mean,
What? Justin Timberlake?
yeah, that's a solid pick.
That's a solid pick if he's not hammered or on some kind of inebriated substance.
Well, we're very related that way. So,
I'm gonna go Backstreet Boys.
There you go
See, that's bringing the crowd in.
for the old heads.
So
Like me.
if this festival is going on and they have 3 different stages with his artist, my artist, and your artist, your stage is like way in the back.
Yeah, no one's coming to my shit.
You got the little tiny little what is the silent disco stage?
We're performing on this palette right here.
This next one's great country.
Oh my god.
Stapleton.
Stapleton.
Yeah, he's the only. That is the only. Well, Well, do you consider Post Malone country
Yeah,
now?
see, I did this. I told Sarah, I was like, shit, I might pick Post Malone or Jelly Roll. I don't know.
Yeah, man, I would either take
who?
Stapleton or Post Malone. I'll say Stapleton just because he's more, solidified in the country realm.
You could take Beyonce if you want.
You could, dude.
At this point.
But yeah, I'll go Stapleton. I did really love that Post Malone album though.
I haven't heard the whole thing because I was against it because I didn't want to hear it.
Oh no, it's
but then
it's great.
In the car, Sarah's like, "Why do you keep playing this Morgan Wallen Post Malone song?" I'm like, "Cause it's fucking catchy."
It's a great album.
So I should listen to the whole thing.
He sounds so comfortable as a country artist.
He's
man.
done so much shit. He started with rap, then went into this like,
I think he did that to get him over, and now he's
being himself, probably.
And now you all understand the game.
No. Country.
Shabuzi.
I knew you were gonna say that shit.
He's popping right now, bro. It clicked. I was like, who the fuck? I was like, I mean, I know, but I'm
You know what?
fucking
Well,
listen to country
now
like that.
I'll take Teflon's backup choice and go Post Malone just to get the people
That's a good
going.
choice, man. That's a good choice.
Tejano/cumbia.
Yeah. So not reggaeton.
Or reggae. Okay, we'll just go. How do I say
Mexican music.
this? I was trying to be politically correct.
Okay.
Right, no.
Yeah, Mexican music, Mexican Puerto Rican music.
Okay.
And they hate the comparison like that, so that was on me.
I'm gonna have to think about this one. It's half of my culture, but I'm not very
There's very good ones.
very well versed in this. I'm gonna go. Let's see.
They can be dead too. If that helps.
Oh, we're gonna do that.
Pick
We're not
Selena.
gonna start all
I'm not gonna pick Selena. No.
No, see, that's what
No,
I said. It.
that's- yeah.
They can be dead. Make it easy.
Dang, this is the hard one here. Cumbia Kings.
Yeah,
Yeah,
motherfucker.
Cumbia Kings.
I think that's what me and E were thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what was it? Bandana Joe taught me how you can make any cumbia song with your hands.
How?
So
Oh, so easy.
shout out Bandana Joe. All right,
Well, I'm gonna start doing that
Alvaro,
at
you're
the
the man.
clubs. He's struggling over there.
No, I'll pick Selena.
That's it. That's what I said. They can be dead. E. It's fine.
I have her hologram up there.
I'll go into cable.
Okay.
Cable.
Intocable. I was trying to say it.
Intocable.
I was whitewashing it.
Shout out Gino.
And yeah. All right, free for all. Whoever you want.
Free for all.
I'll add them just because I saw them twice last year. The Chili Peppers.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
I fucking hate them.
You hate them?
I told Sarah, I was like, I hear it all the time. I've heard it so much.
Yeah, it's dad rock. It's rock.
And I'm
that
fine
we've
with dad
heard
rock, but for
forever.
some reason,
dude, they got Vishanti back on guitar, and man, he stole the show. Like I was enthralled by John Vishanti on that guitar, and I just felt like everyone was into it.
Yeah.
Everyone was into their performance. I saw them at ACL, and then I saw them in the Dome last year. So just 1-2 punch. I got both festival and concert from them. So they're my
I get it.
they're my sixth man there.
E.
J. Cole.
J. Cole. See, I didn't think this through for myself because I like a lot of music. Which route do I go?
music.
Well, that's fun. Just for that, they could be dead or alive. I'm going Lil Peep.
Oh man, R.I.P.
Yeah, R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Your whole stage is dead now.
Oh, Jesus.
I'll take Mac Miller, XXX
Mac Miller is a
Tentacion.
great pick.
I'll take
Aaliyah.
Aaliyah. I'll take
Lisa Left Eye Lopez. We're just going to bring the dead back.
Yeah.
No one named Tupac or Biggie. Right, they're mid, right? That's how the kids say it.
No, man, I like
their
Tupac and
music, but it's
Biggie.
kinda like,
I don't feel like personally I relate to Tupac or Biggie in any way, shape,
No,
or
me
form.
neither.
But yeah, man, I appreciate the music. Give me the loop.
I don't relate to Biggie because I don't have a Diddy nearby. So
Oh, man. Are we still jamming P. Diddy? Or did you ever jam P. Diddy?
That's a banned word, brother.
Oh, yeah.
That's a
It's
banned
over.
word. Right up there with Skibbity.
Skibbity,
and
Ohio.
Riz.
how many places I've been in as soon as a Diddy song comes on? Oh, nah, cut that shit off. Oh, my God.
I'm still jamming.
Hey, man, that's how I felt about R. Kelly before all this stuff came out. I was never an R. Kelly
I
guy.
started jamming in my
I hated I
All
hated
favorite song is
whenever
Trapped in the Closet.
I hated
All
whenever the
27
remix
bars.
to Ignition would come on at a party. I hated it.
It's so
I hated
good.
it, bro. I hated it. It was awful.
Well, I love R.
Maybe
Kelly,
it was
so-
just because it was overplayed because it was good, but I just hated when I would hear that first part. Yeah, no, usually I don't do this, but and then we found out that he did a lot.
I
He
usually
did.
don't piss on women, but
Yeah. But yeah, man, I I always thought Diddy was a tail writer anyways. So, he's one of those people, like a lot of people in wrestling, that just take credit for as in there's another 4 you have to censor out. Yeah, he just takes credit and like he took, he just kind of rode the wave. And then,
he wrote something.
yeah, man. Rode that slip and slide with all the bottles. There you go. Whee!
I fucked up.
Tall Can
Big shout out to our sponsor, Opie, the VIP bird of wrestling. If you support Tall Can Listening, you got to make sure you support Opie, the VIP bird. Go follow him on all social medias. Just type in Opie, the VIP bird, Opie, the Indian ringneck. You'll find him. Instagram, Facebook. And actually, he has merch now. So let's go ahead and check that out. Go to www.opiethevip.store. They got shirts and backpacks and what are the things that go around your waist? My mind just went blank. Fanny packs. They got fanny packs. They got koozies, hats, so much more. All very affordable. Go check out the store. Follow Opie on social media. Do all that. Make sure you go to local wrestling shows and you'll see him VIP ringside. Take a picture with Opie whenever you can. Because Opie is a goddamn star.
I don't know. Y'all pick.
This is a script?
Yeah. Well, no, it's just gonna be like a scene from a movie.
It's like a whole page of book.
This is from
Oh, you already know. Don't say it. That was too
All
easy.
you had to do
It
was
was too
read the
easy.
line.
Just be quiet.
Oh, it's the same thing.
No, yeah. So
you-
everyone's
everything's
lines are
highlighted.
highlighted.
Oh,
The black
okay.
is just a character name, so I didn't want to give it away too easy. But you'll get it already.
Okay, I got you.
So it's pretty obvious once you really get into it.
Damn, what did you read that you got automatically?
So it looks like I think E might go first.
Oh, okay, never mind. I'm going first. Mine's.
You're just pink, right? You're the first one.
Oh yeah, it says grandma. My bad.
All right.
How was school?
The worst day of my life. What do you think?
Well, I want you to go see if Tina wants some of this.
Kip hasn't done flipping anything today.
Look, tonight, me and your Kip. Listen,
What?
tonight, me and your aunt are gonna go visit some friends, and we're not gonna be back till tomorrow. We're getting a little low on steak, so I got Lau coming over tomorrow to take care of it.
Well, what's there to eat?
Knock it off, Napoleon. Make yourself a dang quesadilla.
Good, give it away. Fine.
I'll be back tomorrow.
Stay home and eat all the freaking chips, Kip.
Napoleon, don't be jealous that I've been chatting online with babes all day. Besides, we both know I'm training to become a cage fighter.
Since when, Kip? You have the worst reflexes of all time.
Try and hit me, Napoleon.
What?
I said come down here and see what happens if you try and hit me.
Such an idiot.
Let me see what your best move is.
I'll go get it.
Don't you slap me. Don't slap. Yeah, there you go. Jeez!
I was waiting for it.
Stage direction. Napoleon slaps Kip. This would have been the end of the episode.
I was kind of hoping it was going to be E. 'Cause I'm not slapping Teflon, but I'm not going to tell them which one to grab. I would have let you slap me.
Right, that's a good bit. That's a good bit.
Tall Can
You ever met any famous sports players or celebrities? Period.
Besides Nolf and E of talking, listening.
God.
So
Stop. I'm
I mean,
blushing. Wow.
I did extra work for WWE, and I met a couple people through that.
Are you allowed to take pictures with them?
No,
Yeah,
you're not.
makes sense.
I when I was a kid, I went to the same church as Shawn Michaels. I think I said that on the
Yeah.
last
Fucking
episode.
dope.
Yeah, I think church and that word probably don't belong in the same sentence.
Yeah, church is fucking dope.
Church is fucking.
But
Sorry.
I think as far as like I remember there was a basketball camp that they did, and I met Mike Mitchell, George Gervin, and
Yeah, George Gervin.
somebody else. Another thing.
Yeah, we're on.
No, man. I was like 7 or something.
And I was like 10, so we might have gone to the same camp.
I was like, wait, how old are you?
I don't know, probably 13. I think.
But
Yeah,
I
I was
think,
gonna say,
let's see, as far as like celebrities, no, man. I've never been enthralled. I've never done the meet and greets. I mean, I've done like, the only person that I've ever done a meet and greet for is Kenny Omega. And that's because, you know, he was at the ROH show. It was his first time in San Antonio. I think it was.
Was that the Aztec?
No, it was at the Austin Highway Event Center.
Oh, fuck, really?
Yeah. So it was the same night that NXT was running at the Aztec. And so it was like Bullet Club ROH and then NXT were running in San Antonio on the same night. And so they were like, well, we need someone to like bring everybody over here, so they announced Kenny. And this was right after like the 3 matches with Okada.
Yeah.
He's on top of the wrestling world. I'm like, dude, I gotta meet this guy.
Kenny was on fire.
I gotta meet this guy, man.
You get
So
starstruck?
did I? No. I asked him, so I mean, like, this was like 5 months into me starting training.
Yeah.
And so I was like, hey, man. I mean, yeah, it's kind of like, hey, what's up, dude? How are you?
I never know what to say.
Yeah, I was like, hey, man, can I ask you a question? He's like, sure. He's like, so I started, training maybe like 5 months ago. Do you have any pearls of wisdom for me? Like, this is the best wrestler in the world at that point. And it's like, I'd be stupid not to ask him anything. And he did say something that I have carried with me to this day.
Oh, I like this.
He said, try to be somebody that people either really love or really hate.
Yeah.
Because anybody can wrestle, but it's who you are that people remember.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
Yeah, dude. Just like, and I've carried that with me since then, and I saw that on display that very night.
Yeah.
Because there were certain people on that show who, oddly enough, I can't really talk about now just because of things that have come out about them. But there were people on that show who they were more character-based. And they were wrestling people that were more, traditional wrestler in plain trunks or whatever. And you could see the stark difference of like, oh, these are the people that people are coming to see.
Yeah.
The attractions, the characters.
Trying to get a reaction out of the crowd.
Yeah, man. And I saw that firsthand that night, and it kind of clicked very early. And I was like, oh, like that's what he means. Yeah, like he's on it. Like, and this is a guy that can do anything in wrestling.
Yeah.
Like he can wrestle any style. He can do crazy things off the top. He can fly to the outside. He can do all the cool stuff that like a lot of wrestlers say is the bread and butter. But he's telling me, hey, your character is what's important.
Yeah.
Like who you are is more important. So I keep that with me. I think that's one of I have a picture. I think that picture is like the background to my home screen for my phone, if it is still. Yeah, man.
Move all the apps so I can see.
Yeah, I know. I gotta move all the apps real quick. So that's me.
Yeah.
That is a young, Teflon Jon and
dope.
Kenny Omega. The first night that Kenny Omega came to San Antonio. Damn. And man, I took a friend of mine. That she had never like really been into wrestling at all. And so this is a funny story. My old friend Claudia, and we both pay for the meet and greet, I guess, or like the ticket came with it, I don't know. And so right after I talked to Kenny, she goes up to Kenny and she's like, hello. Hi. And Kenny's like, hi. She goes, so you're like a wrestler?
Oh,
God bless her. No, God bless him. It was so funny, dude. And he was just like, yes, I am.
only the greatest.
Yeah,
fucking
dude.
wrestler.
It's so funny to me because like here I am, kind of like just in awe of
like
this person,
out.
And this person from the outside world just comes in, and
I love that.
It's like, so you're a wrestler? It's like, yeah. And I had to tell him, I was like, it's her first time at a show, and he's like, oh, okay. And there was this look on his face. I'm like, okay, I understand. Like, okay, thank you. They take the picture. He's like, thank you, man. I'm like, thank you, Kenny. He's like, best of luck to you. Take care of yourself. And yeah, man, that's the one time I ever did a meet and greet for somebody.
You know what that reminds me of?
That video of that chick in the bar with
Ric Flair.
Yeah, she's like,
you seen that one?
My friend said you're a famous wrestler, Ric Flair. Can I take a picture? And he's like,
no, you don't
cool.
start like that.
And then she's all getting all like
offended. Was like, no, you don't approach.
That wasn't the grandma that he yelled at, right?
No, it was. I didn't see that one.
He yelled at some grandma apparently in a bar.
I hope it wasn't a grandma.
That's funny,
talking about
dude.
the same video.
Yeah, man.
young white lady, and then of course like she walks away. She's like, "Oh, well, he's missing out." And I'm like, "No, like you bothered him at a bar and
said you didn't know who he was."
Yeah, you literally go straight up to him and say, "Oh, my friend said you're a famous wrestler. Can I take a picture?" And he just turns around and was like, "No, that's not okay." I'm like, "Oh shit!"
Holy shit! All right, let me see. Tall Can Venting. Do you have anything to get off your chest?
Oh boy. So I remember the last time I talked about just like I kind of went on to a diatribe about humanity itself, of just like how we are we're unconnected by the thing that is supposed to connect us. I feel like that sentiment is still very prevalent. But you know something? That's not what I'm going to do now. Now I'm going to get some things off my chest. Woo. All right? I'm one of the best wrestlers in this state.
Say it again.
I'm one of the best wrestlers in this state. There's a lot of good talent in this state, but none of them are Teflon Jon. You know why? Because I was able to carry a show in a backyard for a year and make it something that people want to come to. I did that. Granted, I had some help, but I did that. I was the man that carried the ship. I was the man that carried the flag, the literal flag around my shoulder. I was the guy. I'm the guy that can carry a show with a promo. I'm the guy that can carry a show by just being a presence. People see me and they say, hey, that's Teflon Jon. Mm-hmm. Man, ain't nobody do it like him, dog. Nobody does. And I'm kind of wondering why a lot of these shows out here in my city are taking the easy route and not taking a chance on Teflon Jon.
Wonder the same thing.
I sit here and I hear stories about people being unprofessional, but I see them get booked on the show the next month. I'm wondering why someone, Brandon Oliver, hasn't taken a chance on a hometown talent that could be a staple of not just your show, but the entire scene in the city and the entire scene in the state. I don't know, man. That doesn't seem like my loss. That seems like you're missing out on something. And that goes for everybody else, too. I'm sick of people, hearing that, oh, Teflon Jon has a bad attitude. I don't. You know why I have a bad attitude? Is because you're bad at your job. That's why I have a bad attitude. And it's not a bad attitude. It's because I have a standard. I have a standard that I hold myself to, and I have a standard that I hold every single other person that I'm on a show with to. And some people hold themselves to that standard, and I recognize that. I acknowledge that. I acknowledge that people hold themselves to a standard that is higher than the one that I have. And you know something? That inspires someone like me. It inspires me to be better. It has inspired me, no pun intended, to be a better wrestler, to be a better person, and to be the absolute best version of myself that I can be. And I thank those people for it. But you know something? Those people that are kind of lackadaisical and sitting on their laurels, that are a shell of themselves, that still get the opportunities that I think I deserve, you can kick rocks. You can kiss my ass. And you know who you are. There we go.
Talk that shit.
God damn.
Talk that shit.
And you know something? I'm not afraid of burning bridges because apparently I'm not allowed to walk on those bridges anyways. So yeah.
I did want to ask a question. We could cut it, but you did get booked for the RCW Rumble. Mm-hmm. And I was just curious how that came about and how come you weren't, you're Teflon Jon. To me, I was excited because in San Antonio terms, RCW.
Look at the camera and tell them
RCW.
that. Look at the camera and tell them that. Right now. Say exactly what you just said.
No.
Teflon Jon should get booked at RCW.
There you go.
And I was excited that you were booked there.
Mm-hmm.
And because in San Antonio terms, RCW's the number one promotion.
Mm-hmm.
And to see you not get booked after that is crazy to me.
I find it even more interesting that I listen to the commentary and I hear the guy that runs the place say that he's very impressed with my work. So why haven't I heard from him? That's interesting. But he'll still book people, okay. He'll still book people that are unprofessional and get up right after they get pinned, but, that's besides the point. All right. I'm done venting. Sorry.
Oh, God damn.
What did he say?
But you see, you see all this? You see what I'm doing right now? I'm a presence. Why would you not want this on your show? This is my city. This is my town. I was born and raised here. I live this city. I breathe this city. I die for this city. This is mine. It's always been. It was always supposed to be. I'm Teflon Jon.
God damn
There you
it.
go.
Where's the fucking music at, no?
a banger right there.
No, I've been enjoying the... what was next?
Man, I might have gotten myself in trouble, but who cares?
Well, it's up to you if you want to leave it in.
We'll leave it in. We'll leave it in. I mean, I ain't got nothing to lose at this point, honestly.
And as a fan, I've always been wondering, like why I've only seen you at United, but now I get it. Like, because they're not booking you for stupid...
I don't know, dude. Honestly, to be completely honest, I don't know, and I don't hold it against anybody. And that's the thing. Like what you just saw right now, that's the beauty of wrestling, brother. Is you don't know what's real and what's not.
I'm lost.
Exactly.
Tell me something you know.
The thing is, man. Like I understand, and you might want to keep this part in also. I understand that every show, and this is something that I didn't understand until I started helping out with the show, is that every show has their own vision of what they want to do.
Yeah.
And sometimes you don't fit into that vision. And that's okay. Like I honestly, I'm totally okay with that. I'm okay with, hey man, we're going in a different direction. We don't really need you. That's fine. I think where all of that stems from, and you can see there's a totally different look on my face now. There is a totally different demeanor to myself. I think where all of that stems from is just being that competitive individual, being the individual that knows that, hey, if I was given this opportunity, I would knock it out of the park, buddy.
Yeah.
I would knock it out of the park because I have plenty of times in the past, and I have enough faith in myself to know that if I were to ever, be put in that position, I would do really good. So, there's no ill will, there's no hate. There's no hard feelings because, like I said at the beginning of this, man, I'm more focused with just showing up and wrestling.
Yeah.
And that has given me so much more peace of mind. It's made me more comfortable with who I am in the ring and out of the ring. And if I ever do get the call, they know I'll be ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I really hope you do, because I've been obviously Teflon Jon since like 2019.
Yeah.
This shirt has done its time. Like,
I think it's one of the only shirts that I ever put out.
I know, so I'm waiting for more.
Well, maybe I could talk to Sarah about that.
Yes.
But yeah, dude, I don't know. It's just kind of like I understand that people want certain things for their show, and that's okay. That's cool. I do know that if I were ever given that chance, that opportunity, there would be no going back.
Yeah.
Like they would see it and they would be like, okay, we need to run with this guy. And I think some people are scared of that.
You know who you are.
Yeah. I'm not going to name names. I think they're scared. Not me. I'm never scared. Okay.
And you do so well at being hated. Like even my daughter didn't want to tell you hi when you walked in.
Yeah,
the
dude.
apartment.
I worked his kid. I worked his kid, man. Come on. You're telling me I'm not talented enough? Stop it.
She hates him so much.
Oh yeah, no, she was eating her little TV dinner or whatever she was eating. Man, she wouldn't look at me.
So you gonna tell him hi?
I mean,
And she just
I do remember when I made her cry. I felt really bad. I did feel really bad about that.
you wouldn't be the
It was
first
just-
one. Though.
Yeah.
I mean, it's wrestling. Kids cry.
Oh well.
Social medias and future events.
As far as future events, I don't know, man. I've been doing a lot of work with New Texas, with United, Fortuna. I might be popping up again at some places that I've been popping up at in the past.
Okay.
We don't know. That's more in the ball. That's more in the court of other people, because I've done everything that I can to, mend certain fences and mend certain bridges. Because there was a time where I had a bad attitude, but I don't fault myself for it, because we all go through different stages of life. We all go through times in our lives where we don't necessarily know how to react in the best way. But I think the biggest thing is finding ways to, one, forgive yourself, and also to ask for forgiveness, and also to take that chance and take that step to be like, hey, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for certain things that I've done. I'm sorry for acting certain ways at certain times. And it's all part of the growing process. Again, I'm only 26, man. I feel like I have a whole lot more life ahead of me.
And I feel like you're already super knowledgeable for being 26.
Dude,
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
So many words I'm
Thank
gonna have to
you,
look up
man.
in the dictionary after listening to you talk. I'm sitting here like, all right, like
Social media, you can follow me everywhere at Mr. Teflon Jon. John with no H, so Jon. Teflon Jon. That's Mr. Teflon Jon on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, I'm pretty sure. My Snapchat is non-existent anymore. LinkedIn is for actual professional ventures, and you will not find me on there. If I
Mocha
do,
space.
Mocha Space, yeah. You can add me. You can add me on Voxer, on Kick. You can find me on Kick.
These are deep cuts.
Plentyoffish.com.
Find me on KennyOmegle.com.
Hey.
Yeah, man, Mr. Teflon Jon everywhere. And yeah, dude, I write little one-pagers about the deep, dark thoughts of my mind.
That was all my thing. Real quick
yeah.
before we end. So what goes through your head when you're... Because I see them on Instagram. So are there stories, poems?
So, I mean, I was always told that I'm good at putting words on paper.
Yeah.
You're good at speaking them.
Well, thank you very much.
Yes.
I appreciate that. I've been told that I'm good at putting words on paper, and I wanted to do something that, one, I don't really see a lot of on social media for wrestlers, of just like, what if there was a way to kind of do a promo without it being a promo, without it being a person in front of a camera. It's still the same kind of idea of like, hey, here are these words that you can see, and you can kind of create a story with it. At first, it was very like personal stuff. It was a way for me to heal from certain things.
Yeah, you got to put it out there.
And, be vulnerable about some stuff. But then I was kind of like, the worker in me is kind of like, all right, well, let's take this and let's twist it. And let's use it for, story purposes and to progress certain things. I think that's something that I've kind of been able to do more of, and I'm really happy with doing it, because I enjoy sitting in front of a piece of paper and just writing. Yeah, I do. Cool. I really do. Because you can kind of feel the creative process move in real time, of like you're writing something and you'll kind of look at a sentence or a paragraph and you'll be like, okay, where should I go from here? Where should I go from here to kind of put an overall message? I'll start with like some kind of idea of what I want to do, and then kind of just slowly progress it, which I guess a disclaimer, and you can clip this so we can put it up there. Everything on my accounts is a dramatized, fictional perspective from a character. It is not me. I am not insane. Okay? If I write about, being in a hole or talking to the devil, that is Teflon Jon. Okay, I have an account where I show myself making waffles and walking my dog. Okay, but Teflon Jon is a character. It is a character. It's not real. Okay. Please remember that. Just because I know, like, my aunt is watching, and, like, you know, I have certain people from my personal life that see stuff like that, and I do, and this kind of goes into, like, one thing that I've added to myself is just being more self-aware of things. Yeah. And I understand how it kind of comes off of, like, oh, this guy sounds insane. You know, like, what is someone from, you know, back in the day that I knew years ago, like, what do they think of me now?
Like, what is...
Yeah, like what happened to this guy? What's wrong with him? It's fiction.
It's the persona.
It's fiction. And that's the beauty of it, is that you can't really tell what's fiction and what's nonfiction. So, Mr. Teflon Jon on everything. Thank you very much.
I feel like you're somebody who could write a book. Did you ever think about doing that?
I could, man. I saw a tweet where it was like some person wanted to write a short film about themselves, and someone quoted it and was like, "Don't we all?" But you know, man, I do enjoy writing, just writing itself.
Just hearing you talk about it, I'm like, I feel like you're somebody who could. Oh, man.
I'm a storyteller, man, and I'm glad that I've dropped in a medium where I can just tell stories. Yes. I think that is my bread and butter, man. As long as I'm able to tell a good story in my life, that's all I can ask for, man. And I hope the story has a happy ending. That'd be very nice.
We all love happy endings.
You're doing good at it, man.
Hey! All right. Okay.
Sorry. This was another episode. I appreciate you, Teflon.
I appreciate me too. Don't forget to go out to the ballot box and write in John the Revelator. That's me. Because I don't know if the Ugandan giant Kamala Harris could even hold my cojones, my cojones, my cojones. That's the one that I've been working on this year, just because it's very
it's topical.
Yes, and it's fun. It's kind of fun now too. Just tomorrow, micro wrestling in San Antonio. Be there. I'll be there. Okay. All right. That's it. That's it for me. Sorry, guys.
Teflon Trump, baby.
Thank you. No. Please, no.
Another episode of Talk and Listening.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Beer toss.
Die.
Do it every time.
Keep smashing doors and banging whores. Tall Camp.